Kelly behind the wheel. So we're gonna do some hip run stuff today. Be doing some hip moves, and we're gonna be talking about making a transition to a bridle horse. All right, so I've got her in a bridle today, got her in a curb bit. This is our 7 shank, and I wanted to discuss that because I've had a lot of people ask me questions like, I want to transition my horse into a one-handed bit. So I'm gonna go over the things that you need to have in order to do that, the tools and kind of buttons that we want to put on in order to do that. We'll probably do that as we go into some hip control stuff, so probably give us a little bit of a break here and there between the two. So we'll kind of go over that. If you guys missed it last night, I think we had a great discussion about horse shows and talking about when we go to horse shows, what shows we take our clients to, and kind of our mentality and our mindset behind going to horse shows. Because we look at horse shows a little bit differently than most trainers, I would say. And for me, it's about making sure that you guys are ready to go to the horse show and feel ready, and we're not wasting your money. All right.
Hello.
So I want to make sure that we're not going to waste you guys' money. And we talked about how much fun it would be to all get together and go to a horse show. So
that would be really fun.
That might happen if horse shows ever open up again.
Yeah, who knows?
That could happen. So I think that would be really fun.
Yep.
But that was our chat last night. So if you guys didn't get a chance to check that out, I know it was long. We were on for like an hour or 3.5 hours.
3 hours and like 15 minutes last night.
We were on for a long time, but I think it was like, I want to say it was like an hour and a half into it we started talking about it.
Oh,
right around there.
So right around there.
Right around there, we started talking about it. So kind of going over how we think about it.
Just like my hat.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Good. Only the important things.
It's a CC hat.
Perfect.
If you know that brand.
Do you want to show them up close?
Yeah.
CC?
CC brand.
Perfect. We're not sponsored by CC.
No, I wish. I need all the hats. And then we have exciting news. We are only 25 people away from hitting our 150 mark on Patreon page.
Yes.
And when we do, we are going to give you guys custom spurs like this.
We're going to make a set of spurs.
We're going to make a set of spurs like this.
And we will put your name and probably like Team LSH or something on the other side.
Because mine has like a date inside. But we can put like Team LSH like in the spur or something. So only 25 or 28
people
away. And that's so exciting. So
so that'd be awesome.
We need to hit that.
Thank you so much for you guys' support through all
so
this. You guys have been amazing. It's because of you guys we're able to do things like this, things like that. So we want to give back to you guys as much as possible.
What are we learning today? We're gonna go in depth.
Hip control, bridle horse,
and bridle horse.
One-handable and hip control. Those are 2 things we're gonna focus on today. If you missed our chat yesterday, we did kind of a deeper dive into the push and catch maneuver, all right? So we really want to focus on that. We want you guys to understand that because without the control of your hips, like that's a career move. We've got to have a lot of control over our horse's back end. If you don't have a hold of your horse's back end, then you can't go to your foot without expecting your horse to run away, which is a scary feeling, right? So we ultimately want to make a horse that we have to push on in the show pen. That we can always be driving that horse up and pushing it on. I don't want to be holding my horse back.
No.
If you're riding your horse and you have to hold it back and you can't go to your foot without holding it back, you're not ready to be in the show pen. You're winging it, right? And that's not where we want to be.
John said, what's the most comfortable Western training saddle, lightweight?
Lightweight Western training saddle?
We always ride in Harris.
This is a Harris.
This is a Harris. We've had this for like your whole career.
But Jeremy, you said something about lightweight.
So lightweight, a Harris is not lightweight. We also have a Steve Flick that is just as heavy as our Harris, if not heavier.
I think the Steve Flick is heavier.
Yeah, and it's about half the cost, which is nice. But the leather, to me, at least in my experience, the stirrups, the fenders wore out, right? So my leather is just a bit cheaper or less quality than the Harris, and it stretched out really fast.
I think the Winger, that was pretty light, wasn't it? Winger.
The thing I want to stress though is when I put lightweight work saddles on, and then I go to the horse show and I put a heavy show saddle on.
It's a huge difference.
It's a big difference, that horse, right? So you have to imagine say I'm 200 pounds, all right? Let's just roughly average 200-pound person up on that horse, all right? If my show saddle is 50 pounds, right? And then I ride in a lightweight work saddle that's 25 pounds instead of 50, that's 10% more weight that horse got to carry over its back, right? That's a big difference. So if you showed and you got 10% less horse, or your horse felt 10% different than it was, certainly that 10% could be coming the difference between your show saddle and your work saddle. And that difference is gonna be even bigger when you put all the silver and stuff on your show saddle and you ride a lightweight training saddle, all right? So I wanna caution people, because I've noticed that in my own horses. I like my colts way better if I practice in a heavy saddle than I do a light saddle. Okay, so just something to kind of keep in mind. Not saying that it will, but it could. you know.
Favorite underpad for under your show pads for gelding you want to keep comfy.
We use the Pro Choice pads.
Is it Pro Choice?
Yep. We use Professional Choice. I like those, like the neoprene type. They're nice.
Yep. We don't really have like a certain one.
No. I don't love neoprene. I think that if I had just a regular black thick foam one, that'd be fine too.
Yeah.
Yep, like a wool one, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I think it's Pro Choice that we use.
Yep, fairly certain. And it was expensive. And then do I get more out of it than a regular one? I don't know. But we don't keep our show saddles on very long either.
No.
Right? So like we really time out our horse show that our saddle's not chilling around on that horse. And that horse got to carry the weight of that saddle in their stall because I think it'll wear out. Right? That horse will get kind of tired kind of fast. So we try not to wear a horse out like that. I think it's because
we always have young ones.
Yep.
So we want to make sure we
keep them as comfortable as possible.
Yep.
Trying to keep those horses really comfortable.
Sure.
So, if I had a big break between classes or
how thick? Ours is
2 inch.
No, I don't think it's 2
inches. Inch and a half, maybe.
It's not that thick.
Not that thick. We can go.
I don't really like thick ones. Should I grab it real quick?
You can, yeah.
While you get started.
Let me see the check.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it on the trailer?
No, there's one in there.
Okay. I'll be back.
Yep. Wenger and Aguilar make lightweight saddles are comfy. Yep, absolutely. Got you. I ride a hunt seat and I'm having Deuce throwing 50 pounds of yeah. So there's a technique to that, all right? The biggest technique, and I yell at Macy for it all the time, is like, especially, I notice it more in women. Women try to muscle the saddle up, all right? I don't want you guys to pick the saddle up and muscle it up there. If you swing the saddle from your hips, like you start back here and you swing it and you let that saddle weight kind of carry itself up and around like a hay bale, you'll have better luck getting it up high there. You'll run into problems if you're trying to muscle that saddle up because you're just not going to be tall enough, right? But if you can swing way higher with your hands than you can if you're just trying to place it on their back, all right? And you just let that weight of the saddle kind of carry itself up and over, right? And that's kind of the big secret. If you take these reins, swing them up and over, let that kind of carry itself, all right? So that's funny. That's a good question.
What?
Someone said they ride a hunt seat and they have trouble throwing a 50-pound saddle up on a 17-hand horse. So we're talking about how you muscle them up there.
I always muscle them up there.
Yep.
So we use Professional Choice.
Yep.
It's right here. It's like this. It looks like this.
Yep, I use those, but they were like $100.
It's kind of, it's really dirty.
It's really dirty.
But
we use this one as a work pad. We have a nice clean one in the show.
We have a nice clean one, but it's not that thick.
Inch and a half, probably, something like that.
These are nice though, I really like these.
Yep.
They have like a little hole up top.
Yep.
But these are nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know how thick that is, but it's not crazy thick.
No, not terrible.
I don't like it that thick anyway.
Hey, Kathy. So let me show how we're talking about that while we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a technique lesson, right? So we're here. Let that just dangle. All right. I see lots of people get in trouble because they hold it like this, like your work saddle and stuff. This is using the little muscles in your arms to pick that saddle up. All right. If you let it just hang, right? Now I'm not supporting that at all. So now I want to get to where I can do this move right here. Like you're throwing a hay bale.
I've done this so many times, I still can't get it.
Chuck it up there. Because I don't feel any weight here at all. Right? So you want to get to where you can just take this saddle, just kind of saddle up to them, be right next to their back like this, and take this down here, and just roll it up and rotate. And that saddle will carry you up and over. All right?
No.
I promise it will. So if you just here, just flip that up on their back like that.
No, it's because you're stronger.
You don't need any strength to do it.
I do mine like this. I like
just attack them with it.
I get mine up here. I get like this.
Yeah.
And I go.
Yeah, good luck with that on a 17-hand horse, right? Peanut's all of 14.3 and you're struggling.
I can't do that.
But see, you're trying to use your arms, right? Use your whole body. Rotate from your foot. If you rotate down from your foot, so put your weight on your right leg, right here, and then shift and throw on your left leg. Yeah, just let your right leg come around. Right? So right here, weight on your right foot, swing, right foot off. And you'll just finish like this.
But here's the difference, is that like, when it's that heavy, it's already pulling me down, so there's no way I can get up here.
You can if you lean back into it. If you lean back into it.
No, it doesn't work.
I promise.
It doesn't work, guys.
Practice throwing your saddle up onto a fence for a little while.
That would be a good idea.
I had a youth girl that she wanted a hunt seater so bad. And I said, you're only allowed to get a hunt seater if you saddle yourself. So I taught her how to saddle the horse, and she had to go out there and practice every day for 30 minutes throwing the saddle up on the fence.
See, people all do it like me.
I know.
See,
I know.
it's a girl
thing. I don't know why girls think they can muscle the saddle up there. Like your biceps are gonna be able to just hurt that saddle.
Dude, I saddled her today. I did. I saddled all of them.
You're just gonna go like this with your saddles.
I am. You guys are weak.
Just hulking it out. All right.
Those ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah, it's all the ice cream sandwiches. Ice cream sandwiches, and what else do you eat on stream? Chips, pretzels. Yeah, it's all the pretzels. I guess you have a lot of curling action going on.
You need a video of me trying to saddle a tall horse. I will. I saddled Piper.
We'll have you saddle Charlie.
I will.
See what happens.
I did!
And it just hangs on his side, just like slamming against his side. You just hear.
I'm actually pretty quiet. Stop it. Like Jeremy, you can do the muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't.
No, don't worry, Jennifer. That's the proper way. It's not that you can't muscle it like Macy. It's just that you shouldn't.
Yeah, you build here the rain today.
Yeah, a little bit of rain. We're inside today. A little sprinkle. At least it's not
blizzard.
Arctic wonderland out there. Yep. Any tricks for one that chomps a bit all the time? Not a nervous horse. Doesn't matter if it's snaffle or curb. Can't leave him tied with a snaffle on. Think I'll stop someday. Same horse that flops his lower lip in showmanship with or without the chain, with or under those. So Sandy, probably your best bet for that. If that's how he expresses himself.
Why is her mouth so foamy?
She's sucking on that bit. It's got a lot of copper in it. So if your horse just expresses himself through his lips like that, like in showmanship, might be something you just have to deal with. Otherwise, what I've seen people do in the past, I've tried it on some of my horses, take a rubber snaffle and vet wrap or tape it up and make it kind of thick. And put that in their mouth before you go show. Like,
because your mouth kind of gets tired?
Yep, leave it in there. Leave it in there for like 30 minutes. And then take it out and put your smaller bit in. And their mouth might be a little quieter because they're like, oh, this is comfortable.
It's comfortable. Okay, that makes sense. We
Yep,
did it with Bridle. Because my horse said like the whole time.
So you can kind of take them and make them sit, make them understand that this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it was a young horse that chomps its bit, I would say it needs to be more comfortable in your hands. But
it tends to pull me over backwards and I try to muscle it up there.
Exactly.
I haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about hip control. So we talked about that push and catch. Right. We're rotating that horse around. Okay. So rotating that horse and swinging it through. All right. This is kind of the example that I gave, was that horse has got to swing through it like this. Yeah. And this is where they get round over the top. All right. So it's all about that leg coming through. This is my hock coming through under here. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is the original push just starts like this. Your horse just pushes around flat. My head and my hip go up. We're going to make lift. So the lift is the next part of that maneuver where you catch him and come through. So I'm going to rotate the horse around and then catch him. All right. And then I want that back leg to swing through, and that's going to be my lope off. All right.
So that's what I have to do with my saddle. I tried to do it up with my 16 hand and it hits him in the side.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much what happens.
My horse chops in cadence when located.
Oh, well, he's just musical then.
That's what Rhea did, remember?
It's just a musical
She
horse.
would like lope long, she'd be like...
Yeah. Yep. I would say that it's probably not as distracting to the judge as it is to you. All right? So keep that in mind. It's probably more distracting for you than it is the judge, because the judge is not going to know which horse is doing it.
Do they mark you down if your horse chops?
I mean, okay, so that's one of those slight differences where if there was a better legged, more consistent horse that didn't chomp, yeah, you're going to lose to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but if it's the difference between, well, that horse was chomping the bit and that horse was forebeating. Right. You know, like, if the class is that close, I'd take my second place. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if the difference between first and second was so tight that it was just the chomp of the bit, I'll take my second. You know, because that's what people have to understand. That's what we talked about in our show deep dive yesterday. Was that if the class is so good that first, second, and third are really close, that could be any given day one shows better than the other. All right, and most classes that you're going to go to between first and third is a toss-up almost everywhere you go. Right? What are you doing? Even the Congress and stuff. First, second, and third, most of the time there's not a clear-cut winner, unless it was like Hart stopping at the SBA World, right? I mean, he was easily the winner, but you got a lot of things going on. But But most of the time, first, second, third can go any which way, all right? So I'll take it, right? Oftentimes where you're gonna show is not gonna be so tight that the busy mouth is gonna matter, right? I would say there are probably bigger things for you to worry about, right? Like making sure your horse is broke, stays there, right? Does his transitions pretty. There's probably bigger things to worry about. Yep. And like that's the big thing for me. Like when Piper was kicking out my leg the other day, I don't worry about those things. Those things will fix themselves, all right? And there's so much like bigger picture things I need to worry about, right? That I don't get too focused on the details like that. Try not to get caught in the weeds, all right? Now, if you send us a video and I'm like, your horse is knocking it out. I wish he kept his mouth quiet. Then that's one thing, right? But you shouldn't lose very often anyway. Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna go pie real quick. I'm gonna flip this
you
around.
bailed on me.
Yeah, it's okay. She can take over for a quick second. My mom has to wear a mask to the barn. So they just saw your mask. Your beautiful mask. Okay, I'll be right back.
So much for lipstick.
All those girls that got nose jobs, they regret it now.
Yeah, really?
Can't see them.
Or perfect teeth.
Perfect teeth. Yeah, you got braces, it don't matter. So, we're going to talk about making a one-handable horse too. So we'll kind of combine both ideas today. Hopefully, anyway. Let me make sure she's not going to let me off first. We know she starts out like a little ball of fire. So I've had a lot of people ask me about making a bridle horse and being one-handable. And what you want to do is you want to be able to apply pressure like that. Just that horse go down into the bridle, right? So we've created a horse that I can apply pressure and she's not going to lift her head away from my hand, right? Away from my bit, away from my bridle. So right here, that's what I want to be able to have. So my horse is one-handable. See, I don't need to bump or anything. She just stays down, right? She's just down in my hand. She's right there where I want her. Any bump makes her drop down further, right? So, and this is not stuff that I made in a bridle, okay? This is just stuff basic, like be broken and snaffle type stuff where she doesn't lift her neck up above my reins, right? So above this piece right here, doesn't lift her neck up right there. She stays down there. I want to have tension, right? So she kind of sinks that bit, finds that tension down there. Now, sometimes she'll leave, right? Sometimes she'll push against it, but that's something she's gonna have to kind of figure out as we go. But even when I'm in this type of bit, I'm still gonna work pretty low, right? I'm still gonna try to keep my hands low, stay down here, at least for a while, because I know on this horse especially, I'm gonna get caught picking my hands up. But it's really important to me to stay slow and soft with your hands. Again, I don't want any tension in this horse's neck as I pick up and do things. So when I apply pressure, I want her to stay down there. Like here, she's pushing on me. You see her gap her mouth, she's not sure what to do about that. And that's a different piece of her mouth that I'm asking for, right? That's her chin and the roof of her mouth, right? I'm in a little port. So the chin, underside of her chin and the roof of her mouth, those are two areas that she's not really used to pressure, but she knows my feet really well, right? So I can kind of use my feet to help her out. That whenever I apply pressure, I can come here, lift, and now go to my spurs, and see she knows I gotta stay down because his feet are on, and I'm just gonna come here and kind of find myself. And this is really important when I start, like just apply pressure, just hold till she softens, right? She's kind of all over the place right here. I want to just kind of hold this till I feel her jaw relax and soften into it.
Hey, Jeremy, I'm gonna move this mic around real quick.
Oh yeah.
A second, guys. Might get a little scratchy.
Just want to see her relax and soften up into this. I don't want to see her like be jawing all over me and be kind of gumming at the mouth and like gasping and stuff. So I'll just kind of hold this pressure. See, I'm holding my right hand down low, touching her neck so that hand stays a little bit wide so I can kind of keep offsetting that head and neck. I don't want her to get kind of sideways in her neck. Right?
Ash said she wants to send a video, but you're scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Don't ever be scared. We're
then
all
Lisa,
making improvement.
and then Lisa said she's new to the channel but loving the videos. Thank you so much for being here.
Awesome.
So awesome. Don't be scared. We love seeing videos.
We all learn from each other's mistakes here, right? So you guys are learning from my mistakes. We're helping each other out. You'll be shocked how many people struggle with the same stuff you do, right? So the only way we get better is by being uncomfortable, right? Whether it's you as a rider or even this horse, right? The only way she can get better is she's a little bit uncomfortable. So that's what we're trying to create here. A little bit uncomfortable so she understands, oh, this isn't so bad. I can set her down and go back to shoulder right there. That's what we're trying to create. Like I said, it's a little low, right there is what I want. But remember, like we've been working on getting her neck low. So it might be time, I can pick her back up right here. See that? I can hold her neck up. I'll make her jog up underneath of it. So depending on how you go to your hand, right, I can apply a little more pressure, and she's gonna have to find what happens. She's trying to dive down, she's trying to lift her head up first, try to come above that bit. So depending on how much pressure you apply, you can create different stuff with your hand, all right? And that's the biggest thing. That's why we go in really slow and really soft with our hand. Because I don't want to pull my horse out of the bridle, okay? I see a lot of people whose only answer to go into their hand or go into their bit is to just take their head off, right? And I don't want that. I don't want to take their head off, okay?
It looks like you spray painted your spurs or something. There's white everywhere.
It's Pied Piper, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Yep.
It looks like you took spray paint to it.
White Piper hair on me. White
I
Piper
guess
dust.
it is.
Piper dust.
She's a little paint.
Yeah, it does look like it. What if your horse likes to stay too low always?
Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about, right? If they like to stay too low always, I can work their head up through the maneuvers, right? So remember, it's always through the maneuver. I'm always evaluating, where does my horse go when I leave my hand down like this, right? Where does she end up? So where is this horse? This is pretty good right here. She's got big, tall ears, so this is probably pretty level, right? That's a little low now,
yeah.
Okay? So now I can come up here, and if I go in really soft, I can just kind of pick her neck up there and then set her back down. See, she's going to relax back down to shoulder. Right? So it's all about going past what you want and then releasing. So with this horse, we've been working on really getting her to stay down right here. So she's going to carry herself pretty low, right? She's going to want to be way down there. I can retrain that given, like, honestly, probably a couple rides, right? 2 rides maybe. Just come up here and teach her to poke her nose out and carry her neck up, right? So I can keep kind of applying pressure right there, undo my bit, and keep unfolding her out there. Right? Or I can come back here and drop her under. So right here, if I cover back here, look, I can drop her under the bit. And see the difference? Like now she's under, I'm gonna ask her chin to fold up, she can come down to me. See the differences where I hold my right hand? If my right hand is low, look where my horse goes. Right down in the bit. Right? If my right hand is high, look where she goes. Right above the bit. See that? 2 different places I can go with my hand. So right up here, I can unfold my horse. If I pull, right there, and I leave her alone, right? Or I could go down and pull my left hand, and now she goes under the bit, right? So keeping that in mind when you ride. That you can kind of create what the look you're going for with your head and neck. And that's really like, everything else, all the control should be coming out of my feet, not my hand, all right? So right here, out beyond the bit, nose out, right up here. See how she's trying to tuck under, so I'm gonna stay. So she comes out beyond the bit. Pulling pretty hard with my right hand. Tight in her pull, she's not gonna flex under and hide from my hand, all right? So right here, she's gonna stay out beyond that. See how I can pick her neck up and control her neck, and it's not her nose, it's folding under, all right? Coming under here, right here like this, I can drop her neck down and in, and now I'm squeezing my feet because I'm gonna lift her belly, right? Now that this piece is down, her belly can come up. Right, so I can squeeze my feet right there, and her belly can come up. So that'll keep me from having to go to my hand too much in the show pen, right? And that's probably another important piece that you see where if my hand gets too high and I bang like that, most of the time you're gonna fold your horse, so you're gonna flip them out, right? So we talked before about going to the horse show and a horse being nervous, but I think a lot of people don't realize when you show your horse, you can't bang them like that. I've never seen that fix a horse. Right, just one quick like wham in the show pen. Most of the time that horse will be so surprised, he's gonna spend the next 3 strides doing this before he like settles back down where he was. So that's not an effective move in the show pen. What I'd rather see you do, if you were gonna set up for a transition or you were trying to fix your lope or your jog or anything like that, I'd rather see you come in here. I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna make contact with my horse, I'm gonna use my feet here. So this is lots of foot, just my hand up, and see how she's gonna drop into that? It's gotta come out of your feet. That's the only way you can get that neck back down and that horse back round underneath it. You won't fix that with your hand. If I bang her face, flip, that never works. That's not creating what I'm trying to create.
Poor baby.
That's not making what I'm trying to make, okay? So keep that in mind when you're riding. Like, the quick fix moves don't work, right? Those are band-aids to a bigger problem, which is your horse is not staying round right here, all right? Go ahead.
Jasmine said, I'm late to the party. Hello, Jasmine. What did I miss? We just started. We're working on one-handed stuff, and then we're going to do more hip control.
Yep.
And then Dawn said, riding with you today, have my headphones on, watching and riding.
Nice.
Ah, that's awesome.
Nice. So Dawn, you're riding. Tell me, can you lift your hand under, right? Come under the bit and pull your horse's head up, or can you cover over top of the bit and drop your horse's head down, right? And just use your headphones. So if you stop for a second, watch. Come under and lift up, pull that horse's nose out, come over and pull up with your feet and drop that horse's head down. You see how I can do that? And that's a very specific button, right?
Here,
She does.
do your cover. Go.
So right here, come underneath like this and lift your right hand, right? So lifting this hand up, I'm pulling up, and you see how it's gonna pull everything up. And then if I go the other way, turn your hand over, put your hand right here and pull your left hand up and go to your feet, right? Won't take much right hand at all. It's all out of your left. It's this hand coming up. So I'll just put my hand right on her neck and say, hey, stay down in your neck. I can pick this hand up and go to my feet really hard. All right, go ahead.
She said yes.
Yeah.
That's
it
awesome.
works on every horse, right? And it's the same thing that, like when we take that snaffle and we make them give it their wither right here, and we ask them to drop like this, it will work on every horse. If you get this piece under control, you'll have it. Good.
And then Jessica said her new spurs came in. Yay!
Awesome. Dawn, how do you liking yours? She's got her new ones on.
She got her new ones on too.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
Good. I'm really curious to see how that works for you, Jasmine.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna break this horse off. Now, when I work in a ported bit or a one-handable bit, see how I'm gonna work up a little more, right? My left hand's gonna hold up a little bit more to keep everything square underneath it, okay? I'm not gonna be able to put much bend. She's gonna be stiff in this bit. Nor would I want her to get really soft in this bit, right? If I'm in a bit like this, I don't necessarily want her, and you see how she's uncomfortable with that, right? You see her open her mouth and she's kind of licking with her tongue, trying to find that, get comfortable on it. I don't really want her to be really flexible in this bit, in this equipment, right? So I kind of want to save this for being out here, straight in the middle. But see how I can reset, right? And that's how I want you to think about your horse, right? Take them away from show look, away from show, and I want to watch for that stuff right there. Where I took a hold real soft and slow and she kind of left me. I'm going to take a hold until she softens here, kind of gives this up, drops in, sits in my hand, sits on my feet, gets her body square, finds her rhythm again. There. Then I'll get out and watch us reset. Second I put her down, she's back to showing. All right? That's what you want to create. Then I'm never chasing this position. All right? Then this position is automatic, and all of my maneuvers are where this position gets better. Go ahead.
Dawn said Lola loves them and she loves them, and she's not so touchy.
Perfect. That's exactly
That's
what
awesome.
you should find.
And then what bit are we using? This
is our 7 shank.
This
you
is
just stop it. Just pull it off.
Pull it off?
Yep.
Okay.
Little 7 shank, maybe 1 inch port.
Looks like that.
Yep.
It has,
Copper
like-
bars.
Yep.
Yep. That's why you see her mouth so foamy. Copper bars.
Yep.
Yep.
You'll put this
I
back
guess
on.
I'll put it back on.
I don't know how to put it back on. Riding around
Can't
the
put it on one
arena
hand.
looking for my reader so I can see. Aw. That's so fun.
Yep, so just a little
Sounds like
port.
my mom. She's looking for her reading glasses to see.
Perfect. All right. So, with that being said, that's what we're trying to create in our horse. I'm not looking to kind of hold her in a show position. All right. I want to hold her in a position that's harder than what she has to do when I ask her to go down the rail. Okay.
What do you do if your horse tends to arch their neck when they get worked up? Do you still steadily hold the pressure?
Probably a symptom of a bigger issue, I would say. Like, first off, why is our horse getting worked up? Right? I would address that. I want to get my horses to where they don't get worked up. All right? I think the fastest way to that is to not get worked up yourself. All right? That you see me ride lots of horses and you rarely see me get worked up. I think when you start getting worked up yourself, you're going to create a lot of tension in your horse. And that's the last thing I want is tension when I ride. Because if there's any tension, it's going to show up. Right? I'm going to have problems. But
Dawn said her spurs came in today.
Awesome.
And that is a spoon style bit?
What's that?
Is that a spoon style bit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, little spoon.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna load her off. We'll kind of get her warmed up. So again, my load off is gonna come from a maneuver. My maneuver of choice for this horse is gonna be her ribs going over. So I'm waiting for her to soften here. Get your belly up. Get on both spurs. You can kind of see her pick her belly up. Very good. And ride. Good. Good. I set my reins down. Let her go around. Remember, I'm not chasing this position. Just evaluating here. What do I need? What do I have? my neck is a little high. So we'll kind of come in, we'll say, okay, could we still make this move right here where we cover and go to our feet and kind of break this horse off? Maybe. Kind of lost herself there and kissed. Gonna hold this pressure to her until I really break in half. There, out. All right, what do I have now? There's my neck down, right? Much better, much better. So I come in again, press, let her stay. Let her kind of find herself and get a little bit of hook in my neck, which is gonna mess me up front, right? So that little bend in my neck, little bow in my neck to the inside is gonna mess me up front. I hold this position so she finds that, shapes up, there, right. Let her just go back to shoulder. Let her go back to carrying herself around. That's what I want. Come around, neck is a little high in the corners. Just evaluate what you have. Not bad for out of the box, but
yeah, it's pretty good. Thank you, Don. Lisa said, should we be working in snaffle for daily work?
Yes, I would. Yep, I absolutely would. Because, like I said, like this horse especially, I kind of use my bit, like I don't want my horse to be overdone in this, right? You see where this horse got her nose out, right? She's not overdone in this at all. All I really want here is the ability of these two buttons, right? Right here, pull up, right here, round down, all right? That's all I really want on my bridle work. So anything from there, I don't think, because most of the time we put more iron in their mouth when we're losing these. And you see, like when I was going around there, she was keeping her shoulders up and back. I didn't really even need my reins, right? All my reins were doing was giving her head and neck in position. And that's the big thing. You wouldn't use your steering wheel to try to control the gas and brake of your car, all right? So that's what I challenge everybody to think of. Your body, this is the speed of your horse, right? This up here is the steering wheel. Don't use the steering wheel to try to control the speed, all right? You wouldn't drive your car like that, don't drive your horse like that, all right? If you have a speed problem, you need to go here, all right? Because you have a horse that's going this way, it's accelerating. Don't try to, pulling back on the steering wheel is not gonna get your car to go slower, no matter how hard you pull on it, all right? Go ahead.
Which live or Patreon video do you guys talk about the infamous spurs y'all referring to?
Talk about what?
The infamous?
The infamous spurs?
Infamous?
It was on...
I don't know how to talk.
We did one that was on, if you go back to one of our early ones, I think it was like day 7 or day 6. It was one of the early ones.
Wait, was it the long spurs we're talking about? Or the...
Talking about the ones we use.
Oh, those?
These ones. Yep, we're talking about these ones. It was early on. We did one on bridles and we did one on spurs and using your legs.
Oh, did you tag it? I think someone tagged it.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Yeah, I think I know we do. It's one of our night couch talks, right?
Yeah, but we demonstrated in these.
But we demonstrated in those too, yeah.
We talked about why we like these and why we use these, because it lets us sit on our shanks. The shank comes in first and then your rowel. So I always have
thank you
pressure
guys.
to fly right there.
Yep, they commented.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So like, you guys can zoom in. This horse is a little more broke than the other ones we've been showing you. Come on in here, Mace. And like, so you can see her back. So when I go to my feet, right?
Okay, let me get you lined up.
Back just a little bit. So you can see like this top line and my spur, my belly.
Okay.
All right. So right here with my hand down. Can you see my hand? No. So right here, hand down, horse's top line right here. I'm gonna go to my feet. There's my shank. Here's my belly. Do you guys see that? See that back come up? Then that head goes down on its own, right? That head will drop on its own. So that's what we're trying to create in these horses. That I can go to my feet, pry, and this horse's back comes up, right? That's what I want. So I can feel her belly come up to us. See how she doesn't back away? She doesn't really even untrack her legs at all. All I get is roundness in a line.
But I think the big thing that you guys have to be aware of is make sure, like, when you go to your feet, they don't just drop their neck.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a huge thing.
You gotta have something happening under here.
Yeah.
Yep. Can't just drop their neck. I don't mind this horse dropping her neck in the beginning because she will get too high anyway with her neck. So it doesn't bother me to have her drop her neck anyway.
Yep. We can show them how dramatic it can be.
Oh yeah.
Mom, do you want to come hold this real quick? We can kind of show you guys what we're going for.
So I'll show you how we made this, how we made that button on a horse that kind of like stays flat. Don't get yourself kicked doing this, right? You'd be surprised how a horse can come up underneath of you and like catch your hand. But if I come in here, I'm gonna wrap my calves, okay? So I got my legs on, Macy's gonna help me out. Yep. She's gonna come underneath and just tickle this horse's belly. So this horse was one that really squatted on our feet really bad. So we had to create that lift in our horse, right? So that she would break in half more because we were going to our spurs and no amount of pressure was teaching her what to do, all right? She just kind of made up in her mind that she was gonna squat on her feet, all right? Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's so awesome.
That's amazing. Dawn said she's ending her session on the best note in 3 months. She's crying. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Oh.
Good deal.
Nice to show you little spur marks on.
What's that?
The spurs.
Must not say books to give them rub marks. Well, the other piece of that could be that your horse is not used to you carrying your spurs on their belly.
Right.
All right. So remember, if they're used to you riding out here, and you start bringing your legs in, I mean, obviously some spur marks could be from you not having a extended leg, right?
Sure.
But the other piece of that is, it's like putting a new pair of rollerblades on for the first time, right? You're gonna get some blisters there until your skin toughens up, where your horse has got to get used to the ability to come in with your spurs, right? But as long as you're coming in soft and letting the spur do the work, you'll be in good shape, right? Just don't be aggressive. That's the biggest thing. Take your time, don't get aggressive, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wrap my legs in. I'm gonna hold my calves, so I'm in this horse. My calves are firmly on, but my rowels are not in yet, right? My shank is not in yet. So now I'm gonna wrap my shank, and I'm gonna squeeze my calves to her. So I'm really squeezing her this way, right? Squeezing her body this way. So now she's on my spurs, and now I'm gonna roll my feet and lift up in my saddle a little bit. Macy's gonna come underneath and help me. So she's gonna tickle this horse. There, get that big lift, and then get out and pet her, right? So big pets here, so that she understands that closing your feet when I roll my rowel up in means come this way and elevate your body, right? So I'll turn sideways so you guys can see again. So right here, I'm gonna close my feet, calves on, don't go anywhere, shanks in, don't go anywhere. Now apply pressure, Macy helps me out, right there, out. When you feel that horse come up underneath of you, you can get out, all right? So we would try this, like make sure your horse is comfortable with you touching their belly in the first place.
Yeah, like we did a lot of like just going like this.
Just petting her, yep, just understanding. Yep, so she doesn't get worked up.
And I just used like my little thumb. Like
yep.
we didn't do anything too crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Some horses, like when you go right here, they'll jump sideways, or they'll like, if you go right here, like they'll kick with their
You don't want them
back
scared.
foot. Yeah, you don't want them scared.
Yep. But that's a good exercise for you guys. Anytime you can come in right there and just tickle their belly, even out in your stall, to help them just learn how to do this. Keep learning how to do this. Roll up, roll everything this way.
And you know, like you'll get a feel of what your low off should feel like,
right.
and what a back up feels like.
Yes. Yep.
That is like, I mean, their back goes up.
Yep. So you want to touch on this side and see.
I don't know if I can. I'm kind of in the way.
Just come on this side.
Well, I can come like.
Yep. So they're here. That way you can kind of see my feet come in. So I'm here. Feet in first. Otherwise, your horse just get wise to the person standing there, right? And we don't want that, right? So I would advise Macy to touch her belly first. Just touch the side, pat her belly. Not trying to ask for much. Now I'm going to apply my spurs right there. See, I didn't need to do anything else.
Nope.
She came way up for me,
yep.
All right? So then Macy didn't have to back me up. As long as your spurs are the first things in, right? And the last things out, you'll be in good shape,
yep.
Right? So we might just tickle until you feel that horse come up a little bit. Might start very small until you have a big response. So now I go to my feet on this horse, and that belly's gonna come up to me like that.
Right.
And see, you can really see that back come up, right? So you can imagine we're showing this horse, I can just lift my hand, look at her just roll into that pressure.
And this is what we were talking about last night when you said, people said my horse gets nervous in the show pen. Like this is a button, like if she's looking up there, like this is just a nice button for you to hug them and like bring them back to like, this is my position.
Yes, back to the zone, right? Focus back up right here. So like here, she's gonna look at that cat, or she'll look out the door, like right there. I can just go to my feet, we're gonna apply pressure, and look at her neck come back to the middle, all right? So anytime I lose my horse, I can just go to my feet like this, and make sure she comes back to me, right here, and then I'm out, all right? And that move will help you a lot in the show pen.
Yep.
Help you a lot in the show pen.
My horse is pretty good at home, but horse shows, he doesn't like when other horses pass him. That's when he blocks them. Arcs his neck.
I would say earplugs help with that.
Yeah.
And then just getting exposed in traffic. If you have a friend that can ride next to you, when we ride separate horses, we can like bump into each other. I'll ride right next to her and bump into her with my hand, reach over and pet her horse. We'll kind of teach them to desensitize to that. There are two reasons why a horse is scared, right? They're either too dominant, so they're mad about that horse being in their space, they're gonna move that horse away, right? Or they're scared, okay? If they're too dominant, you have to tear up some confidence a little bit, right? If they're scared, you have to reassure them, okay? So if I have a horse that's too dominant and she goes to kick out, I might be kind of aggressive in my fix to say, hey, get over here, pay attention to my feet, you worry about me right here, right? And then go back to loping. Or if I have a horse that's really scared, I might hug, maybe I can lope off. I might hug, and then just like hug, hold till I feel her soften, and then get out and pet her. And say, hey, that's better. That's what I want. Just relax. and then bring that horse around again, kind of hug, hold that horse till I feel her soften, and then get out again, right? So I'll just kind of help that horse out. But you have to identify which one is it. What style of horse do you have? Is it the aggressive, trying to take my space back away from me, or is it the scared, trying to run away from that horse? Because it's going to be one or the other. Okay.
A 7 shank is in her mouth.
Yep,
And earlier in the
7.
video we dropped it. So when this live's
When this is done, you can go back to the beginning.
You go back to the beginning and see it.
Yep. Just a little 7 shank spoon.
Yep.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about hip control. We've seen her lope both ways. So what I want to do is I want the ability to push this horse's hip around and then capture her on the other side, right? So I'll do it to the right because I kind of missed my lope off right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start to the left and we'll go to the right. How's that?
Okay. Do you want to do like a really, like when we come close and watch everything, or are you just going to talk about it?
We'll just push her around real quick and then we'll kind of go from there.
Perfect.
All right. So very beginnings, right? We had a lot of questions about this, a lot of people confused. This hand is going to go this way. I'm going to push my hip this way, right? Your hip is going to move opposite of your head to start with, okay? We're going to take this horse and do this with her. Just send her around the world, right? Just around the world. Send the pieces, just a little whirlwind,